She once called humans a primitive breed. Their wars amused her. Their emotions disgusted her. But when the alien Queen Seraphis of the Xylar Dominion captured a single human soldier named Ji-Hoon, something changed. He wasn't afraid. He didn't beg. Instead, he smiled. A small, quiet smile that unsettled her entire court. Days later, the Queen began to feel something impossible growing inside her. A pulse, not alien, not Xylar, but human. And with that heartbeat came the one thing her species had never known. Fear. If that opening just gave you chills, you're in the right place. Welcome to the channel where humanity doesn't just survive. It defines legend. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share this story if you love tales where humans remind the galaxy what real power feels like. Grab your seat. This one's going to hit hard. The war between the United Terran Front and the Xylar Dominion had ended in flame and silence. The last Terran warship, the Dauntless, drifted crippled above the red nebula of Chorus IV. Smoke trailed across its broken hull like tears on steel. From its wreckage, the Xylar soldiers pulled one survivor, a human male. Name, Ji-Hoon Park, Lieutenant, Terran Marine Corps. The Queen demanded to see him. The throne chamber of Queen Seraphis shimmered with cold light. Every wall was alive with veins of violet energy, humming with psionic resonance. At her command, soldiers bowed, weapons vibrating with low plasma hums. She was tall, reptilian in grace, yet eerily elegant, her silver scales refracting the light into cruel beauty. When the guards dragged Ji-Hoon before her, the court expected pleading. They expected screams. Instead, the human stood straight, blood still fresh on his cheek, eyes calm. Seraphis tilted her head. "So," she hissed in flawless Terran tongue, "this is what your species sends to die for dust and rock?" Ji-Hoon smiled faintly. "Yeah," he said, "and we usually win." Gasps rippled through the chamber. Even her elite psionics froze, disbelief carved into their alien faces. No prisoner had ever spoken to her like that. Seraphis rose from her throne, steps slow, deliberate. She circled him like a predator. "Your fleet is ash. Your planet, I hear, burns. What makes you smile, human?" He looked her dead in the eyes. "You still don't get it, do you? You can burn a world. You can kill a name. But you can't kill what made us human." Her tail flicked, snapping the air. "Arrogance, always arrogance." "Hope," he corrected softly. Later, when the chamber emptied, Seraphis ordered Ji-Hoon to be left in her personal cell hall, a place reserved for the most curious captives. She told herself it was for interrogation, but that wasn't true. That night, she returned, alone. He sat cross-legged on the floor, humming, a soft Terran melody, low and haunting. "What is that noise?" she asked, voice echoing in the dark. "Something my mother used to hum," he said, when the world outside was too loud. Seraphis frowned. "Music is chaos. Pointless," Ji-Hoon chuckled. "Maybe that's why it keeps us sane." For days she watched him, the human who neither screamed nor bowed. When she questioned him about war, he answered with honesty. When she mocked human weakness, he spoke of compassion. When she sneered at emotion, he said, "That's the point. We feel. That's what makes us dangerous." She laughed then, a sound that made her guards flinch. "Dangerous? Your kind dies screaming." Ji-Hoon just met her gaze. "And still, we keep coming back." That line stayed with her. It shouldn't have. Weeks passed. The war outside continued. The Dominion crushed 2 more Terran colonies, yet her thoughts wandered to the human in her chamber. She told herself it was curiosity, research, strategy. But when she looked at him, she felt something alien within her, a quiet pull. His voice lingered in her mind even when she dismissed him. "Maybe," he had said once, "the universe keeps trying to break us, just to see if we can rise again." Then came the night that would shatter the Xylar throne. A psychic tremor woke Seraphis from her slumber. The palace sensors screamed, not in alarm, but in confusion. The readings showed an energy pulse radiating from within her private chamber, from her own body. She clutched her chest, felt something alive, something pulsing with rhythm unlike any Xylar heartbeat. Her mind reached out with psionic clarity and recoiled. It was a human signal. Her guards stormed in, but she waved them away. Alone, trembling, she whispered, "What have you done to me?" Across the cell barrier, Ji-Hoon looked up, calm as ever. "Guess you're feeling it now," he murmured. "That's life, that's us." Her voice broke into a low snarl. "Impossible. No Xylar can." He leaned forward, eyes steady, voice low. "Guess the universe wanted you to understand. Not power, not fear. Life." For the first time in her reign, Queen Seraphis felt fear, not of death but of change. As the red nebula glowed beyond her palace, she stood frozen, feeling 2 heartbeats echo inside her, hers and something new, something human. And for the first time in her long, cruel life, she didn't laugh. The Dominion trembled. Their queen, once the unbreakable mind that crushed empires, now sat alone in the dark, hands trembling over her abdomen. Something within her was growing. Not parasite, not curse. Something alive. Her royal physicians scanned her body 100 times. The results came back the same. Human DNA detected, hybrid development stable. Impossible. The word echoed in every corridor of her citadel. The council demanded answers. "Your Majesty, contamination is a risk. Terminate it before it spreads." But Seraphis said nothing. She dismissed them all. The truth was, she couldn't. When she reached inward with her psychic senses, she felt not corruption, but warmth. A spark of emotion so pure, so vibrant, it overwhelmed her ancient mind. It was as if humanity itself, defiance, compassion, madness, had taken root inside her. That night she visited the human again. He was still in the cell, calm as if he had been waiting. She stood outside the shimmering barrier, eyes burning with something unfamiliar. Not rage, not hatred. Confusion. "What are you, human?" she asked quietly. "What did you put inside me?" Ji-Hoon met her eyes. "I didn't do anything. You let something in, the one thing your kind never understood." Her voice cracked. "And what's that?" He smiled faintly. "Love." Seraphis recoiled, almost laughing, but the word didn't sound foolish anymore. It echoed in her chest like a bell. Days turned to weeks. And the queen, once feared across 20 star systems, began to change. Her voice softened when she gave orders. Her punishments grew less cruel. She started watching Earth's history archives, human art, songs, stories. She learned about the wars they fought, yes, but also the why. She saw images of parents protecting their children, of soldiers smiling before impossible battles, of lovers clinging together as worlds burned. And for the first time, Queen Seraphis cried, not tears of weakness, tears of recognition. When Ji-Hoon was finally released from his cell, under her secret orders, he found her staring out at the nebula that once symbolized conquest. "It's strange," she said softly. "All my life I've expanded empires, crushed planets, yet something inside me feels more infinite than the stars." Ji-Hoon stepped beside her, still bruised, still human, and said, "That's what it means to create, not destroy." She turned to him, her silver eyes reflecting the cosmos. "You humans are dangerous." He grinned. "Told you." But beyond her throne room, the Dominion was no longer silent. Whispers spread of the Queen's corruption. Fleets mobilized. Generals plotted her removal. The Empire wanted its monster back. When the coup began, Seraphis faced them not with weapons, but with words. Before the High Command, she declared, "I have seen what your fear cannot, a truth greater than any empire. Humanity does not bow to death. It transcends it." The generals hissed, blades raised, but before they could strike, a blinding surge of energy erupted from her body. The hybrid child's psychic pulse swept across the throne world. Systems flickered, weapons melted, and for a heartbeat, Every Xylar felt something alien flood their minds. Hope. They dropped their arms, and in that silence, the Queen whispered, "Now, do you understand?" Months later, Ji-Hoon stood beside her on the observation deck as the nebula bloomed outside. Brighter, calmer. In the cradle chamber below, a small cry echoed. The hybrid child, half Xylar, half human, opened its eyes for the first time. Those eyes glowed not blue, not silver, but gold, the color of sunrise over Earth. Seraphis looked down, her voice trembling. "It's beautiful." Ji-Hoon nodded. "No, we are." Word of the Queen's transformation spread across the galaxy. Some called it heresy, others, prophecy. They said the child carried the future, the bridge between species that were never meant to meet. But among humans, one phrase spread through every soldier's whisper and every colony's campfire. Even the Queen who mocked us learned what it means to be human. And so, in the end, the most feared ruler in the galaxy didn't fall by war or rebellion. She fell because one human refused to kneel and taught her heart to beat differently. Because sometimes the greatest victory isn't in conquest, it's in connection. And humanity, it never conquers, it converts. And there it is. The story of the alien queen who laughed at humanity until she became part of it. It wasn't power that changed her. Not fear, not war. It was something far more dangerous. Understanding. Humans have always been called reckless, emotional, chaotic. But maybe that's what makes us unstoppable. Because even when galaxies fall silent, even when enemies outnumber us 1,000 to 1, there's something inside us that refuses to die. The will to feel, to love, to hope. If that story moved you, even just a little, take a second to like, subscribe, and share it. It helps this channel keep bringing you more of these powerful HFY tales, where humanity reminds the stars what real strength looks like. And if you want to go even deeper into stories like this, where human courage shakes the universe, check out the next story in the playlist. Trust me, you won't forget it. Until next time, stay human, stay legendary, and never stop believing in the fire that makes us who we are.